Hi, I'm Will.
And I'm Risa, and this is Talent Talk.
On today's show, we have acclaimed singer-songwriter Lucie Silvas. But before we get to our interview with her,
you have to check out her latest single. It's incredible. It's called Cool Down.
The sand and the sea, but the sun just makes me stupid. I take a picture of you and me, 'cause I know I'm putting you through it. I try, but I'm wrapped too tight. Sometimes my love, it burns too bright. Oh, it burns too bright. Need to cool down, don't be a fool now. We know the will still feel the flame when the fire goes out. Highs and lows, it's all around, you know. Sometimes to find love, you gotta let it go. I need to cool down. I need to cool down. I got a thirst for making you hurt, 'cause I don't like feeling nothing. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, I'm still mad about something. I cry, come on and ease my mind. So you try, my temperature's too high. Oh, it's way too high. Need to cool down, don't be a fool now. We know that we'll still feel the flame when the fire goes out.
well, hello and welcome to Talent Talk. I'm Will Nunziata, and once again, I am joined by my better half, the one and only Risa Binder, and today we are joined by the acclaimed singer-songwriter Lucie Silvas. Lucie, how are you?
I'm very good. Better for seeing you both. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, Lucie, we are so excited that the audience has got a sneak peek of your incredible tune, Cool Down, but we will get into all that in a little bit. I know that my better half, Risa Binder, has question numero uno.
Okay.
Thank
Shoot.
you. Okay, Lucie, you are made of music, and just it's in your soul, it's in your blood. And I guess my question is, because I've never really asked you, when you're creating a record, or what's your process? Are you a title person? Are you a vibe in the room person? Is it different with each person? What's your process?
I don't know. It depends every time. It's weird because when I moved to Nashville, my approach to songwriting was given another angle to it. So, because a lot of people here obviously are very lyrically driven, like a lot of songwriters are all over the world. It's not exclusive to Nashville, but often I'd find that I'd be collaborating with people and they would have a lyric first, which was kind of alien to me. I would have a musical idea or a melody or something first, because that would then inform what the song was about. It was just a feeling and an emotion and something that was in the room.
Yeah.
And so here it changed, and then so it just depends. It was nice to get that education, but with albums, I feel like albums are very scary to approach. As you know, it's like, what's this big chapter? What part of my life am I going to focus on? Because there's always lots going on usually in our lives. What do we want to talk about? What are we prepared to talk about? And I think with the last two albums that led us to Ghosts, it was like there was a breakup, there was a heartbreak in that scenario. There was a lot of reflection, like I was kind of annoyed about a lot of things, the polite way to say it, and also just learning a lot about myself and the other person. Let Us to Ghost felt like, oh, this is songs to the past. This is like trying to figure out what happened, what is the fallout from it. And on the album cover, there's a picture of me, and you can see a slight picture of me behind it, and it's kind of talking to your past self. And that was a conceptual thing, even though not every song fitted perfectly into that. I know that some artists even have an idea and they literally write just to that idea only. And how good a song is, they won't put it in that. And I'm not necessarily as strict as that, but a general guideline is helpful. And with EGO, that was my last album that I did. We wrote this song and I realized it was like, oh, well, this is kind of a don't care record. This is very much like, I really don't know if I am cut out to be something for somebody or anyone all of the time. So EGO was talking about the trials of the music business. Black Jeans was doing the same thing. It was kind of a thing, and it was very, very much a new chapter in life, very in love on a personal front, but also fighting things about myself on another front. And some of them were just stories. And then cut to this record. So I have a new record that's not out yet, but it's called Live by the Song. And it went back to basics. It was like all my childhood favorites, whether it's, you know, Carole King or Joni Mitchell or, you know, Roy Orbison or anything like that. I thought about, you know, the very understated sort of, not much about the production, just songs all put together, stripped back a little bit. Cool Down was sort of a bit of a wild card in that it's kind of got a groove to it, but it's still a very personal song. It's really about an argument that you kind of getting ahead of yourself and you react, and it's trying to tell you, stop trying to react all the time and just chill and try and go with the flow of things. And the pivotal song to it was the one I just released, We Don't Know We're Living. And that was the first song in a whole batch of songs. So it was like, this has to be simple. There's something simple about it. I'm not up for any complications or drama. So all these songs have to come from a very simple, chilled place. So I think it's good to know what you want to say and be around people that can help bring that out in you. And sometimes you just don't get it. Sometimes you're sitting in a room and a song isn't there. I just think that it doesn't matter how excited you are or how good a collaborator is, or if you write by yourself. I think sometimes it's in the air or it's not, you know.
Lucie,
I think we beat ourselves up about creativity like that, I think.
I agree with that.
Very hard
absolutely.
on schedule. Yeah.
And what I love so much, Lucie, I mean, you know, the first concept album you were talking about, and even this most recent, you know, I love the fact that when you write, you have like a North Star, that even if it does it doesn't have to have like each of the songs going back to that. But for example, even just you mentioning about, you talking about getting back to basics and the simplicity, that's what we've all been doing for 18 months. We've all been forced to look back, to look forward. We've all been forced to investigate the superfluous, to get to the elegant. And I think within that, we've all been faced with our inner child and checking in on them. And when I think about going back to basics, I think about one of my favorite performers, singer-songwriters of all time, Sheryl Crow. And the fact that you got to collaborate with her, I want to eavesdrop in on, I mean, I have a friend in New York who's worked on her Broadway-bound, you know, musical, and says that, you know, she's texting him, you know, 3, 4 a.m. and she's like the most down-to-earth person. I would love to hear about your experience with the one and only Sheryl Crow.
Yes, and by the way, all that was very beautifully said. I think that's very true. But I met her quite a few years ago. We kind of crossed paths through different people in Nashville, and she lives here. And you know, I didn't even know that till a few years back. But and then I guess, you know, her drummer Fred Eltringham, I'd worked with him on all my records. He played on Letters to Ghosts and EJ, all the records I'd done since I moved to Nashville, that is. And so we had a lot of mutual friends. She knew my husband. She knew various people in my life. And so then we went on tour with Heart together. We were both openers on tour with Heart. And that was kind of awesome. It was crazy and awesome. And she was just, you know, she made me feel very comfortable because I didn't know Anne, and I did not know Nancy and Anne and she kind of made it feel even more comfortable, and it was a great tour all around. But I got to know her, and then we got together to write. A friend of mine and a friend of hers, Jeff Trott, who's a longtime partner of hers, written a lot of those amazing songs that we love. He and I were working together, and he was the sort of seemed to be two females he worked with, obviously her and then me quite a lot. And he was like, oh, this would be great if we could do this, the three of us. And we got together, and it was very hard for me to chill because I was just want her just to write Sheryl Crow songs. So I'm like very shy, you know. She's like, I want to write a Lucie Silvas song, and it's like, no, obviously not. That's you know. And it was actually just a lovely. We wrote a couple of songs that I loved, but it was just overall, it was a lovely experience. She's very disarming, as you'll hear from anyone that works with her or knows her. Very disarming, and why shouldn't she be? But you know, we have this. You know, the world wants mystery, and they want to have a degree of separation from the people that we admire so much. And I understand that because we grew up with those types of heroes, and we're like, they know something I don't, and I don't even want to know what that is, because then it will kill the mystery of their stardom, you know. And she is one of the few people I think I've met that toes the line between completely down to earth and normal, but having that. Just there's something about her I can't figure out how she is. And I wondered about it loads of times, observing her, going, because she has a way of being on stage and being just she's one of the band, but she's a boss, and she's a star at the front, being Sheryl Crow. It's like she's just amazing. I feel like every female has a bit of that, wants to have that Sheryl Crow thing in their music, because it's just real and genuine, you know. And so this song, I asked her if she wanted to sing something together, and she said yes. I was like, well, you should hear the song first, because you might hate it. Like, you know, if you hate it, I'll never bother you ever again. So I was like, you know, because I was so nervous. Then I thought, this business is so challenging, and these are marks of bucket list things for me, more than anything else that we're required to do to keep on going. You know, there's numbers we hit, because that's what we need in order to keep going. But I'm like, that's not what keeps me going. If I can do these things, they're bucket list moments, and I can just keep going doing things that I love. So I thought, I'm going to ask her if she wants to do this, because I will regret it if I don't put out a dream of mine out into the world. And so we did it, and it's just been the most enjoyable experience. And now, you know, hopefully we're going to collaborate a lot more on different things. And it's a joy. She reassures me about how artistry and creativity should be.
Can I piggyback on that for a second? Because I'm going to try not to get emotional, but to talk about bucket list moments, and Lucie, you're so incredible, and incredible doesn't even describe what you are. When I first came to Nashville, the very first show I saw was you and Cree Harrison, and you made me want to raise the bar. You are an artist that makes everyone that hears you want to raise the bar and be better. And so, to try not to get so emotional, I'm so curious when you say bucket list things, because I know that Will and I are way into this. Are you into are you into like manifesting things, or the next couple things that come into your world? And like, do you have a vision board, or what are your next bucket list moments? Because I feel like you've had so many, and there's probably still so many yet to come. I'm just curious about that kind of part of you.
Oh, you're so sweet. And I see how emotional, because you love art, and you love what you do. And that's why things hit you that way, because you have that disposition, which is a lovely thing to have, to be emotional about something. Like, God forbid you ever lose that, you know. And I feel honored you would say that. But I don't have a vision board. I did once, and it kind of collected dust, because I put it in the garage. And you know what? I'm a weird one. I'm very emotional, and sometimes when I put these visions up, it can be help or hinder me, because I feel like I'm not letting life flow. And they always say flow like water, just flow, and have something in your head, set an intention and go for it. And I think that that's true for me. Like, I've started doing things outside of music recently, flying.
I saw that. How
which
is
which I
that?
love, but I don't know if I can do it, but my intention is there. And my intention to be open to not be self-deprecating and think, apparently a lot of women pilots share this thing that they might not be able to do it. So which is interesting, because it's like, why is that? Why don't we think that? Why don't we think we can do that? Something that we think, you know, maybe a man could do easier. And that's no disrespect to anyone. It's just, I've heard more often than not from women pilots, they don't think they can do it. And so I think it's just setting an intention of, I want to do that. I will do that, even if it
Ooh.
takes me years, you know, because a friend of mine just passed his check ride in 6 months. I don't know that I could do it in that time, but I'll do it, you know. And so, but with music, I did used to have a lot of goals. I want to do this, I want to have this, I want to have this. And as time went on, I didn't take the goals away. I just let them loose a little bit, because my career has been amazing and also a roller coaster, and just full of things I didn't think would happen and things I thought would happen that didn't. And so I kind of have learned to really focus in on what makes me happy in that moment, and more than that, stop doing things that make you unhappy, you know.
Oof.
And that actually is so huge, because creativity in any way, as you guys both know from being so creative, and mixing it with business is very challenging, and we have to separate those things. And I've always struggled with that. So later in life, I've gotten a little bit better at it, in trying to be very compartmentalizing about things. But I think just saying, don't do what doesn't make you happy. And if that's, well, following other people's footsteps to this career doesn't make me happy, so I'm not going to do it. But don't let yourself lose your ambition, I don't think. You know what I mean? You can still have ambition and say, I'm going to do all these things. I don't know how. I'm going to do all these things. It's also not going to kill me if I don't do everything on my list, because I don't want to miss I don't want to miss out on being happy.
Yeah.
You know, because you really can. I see it all the time of like, wow, how many years did I waste worrying about trying to get this one thing?
Well, it's letting go in the how, and you know, like you're also saying, this is the fact of the matter is, you know, once you get to release the destination and how to get there, you get to enjoy the journey. And I mean, you are such a perfect example of someone that has done the work on themselves, but also just continues to just be curious and keep going after their dreams. And look at the amazing collaborations you have going on. I mean, Risa and I have so many questions, but there's one in particular, Lucie, we've been waiting all but maybe 15 minutes to ask, and that is, Lucie Silvas, are you ready for game time?
Always ready. I was born ready for game time.
Well, Lucie, lucky for you, Risa has both of our questions booked. Lucie, pick a number between 1 and 100. Is there a lucky number that you have?
I don't know, 86 just came into my mind.
86.
86.
Risa
86.
asked that question by the number 86.
Oh, I like this. Oh, here's 86. What gave you the greatest sense of joy when you were in second grade?
Ooh.
Okay, quick question. What's second grade in America? Because in England, we don't have grades. So we have.
So it's
Okay.
like kindergarten, first grade, second grade.
It's like you're 8 years old, or somewhere 8 or 7.
Oh, well, you know, we were moving to New Zealand when I was 8. So from England, I think that was it, going on that long journey. I was really excited. It was a new adventure. And I kind of thought my parents were very brave and adventurous at the time, going to this new place. And I think we were moving countries. So that was very joyful. And I think things like that kind of instill in you the openness to start in a new place, you know. I remember being really excited about that. But, you know, God, I mean, things at 8 years old, they would playing dress up with my sisters. We actually reenact Dynasty in Dallas up in our attic. like
Oh.
reenacted lines, like Swellen and my sister JR and someone like, this is showing my age here, but it's like we would just like reenact it all and just, you know, my sisters and me have a very close relationship, we're very close in age. So probably getting to play with them, playing make believe is the only time they really wanted to give me the time of day because I was very annoying when I was 8. So but that brought me a lot of joy.
I love that.
Lucie, that's amazing. And of course, you did all that dress up and playing as a little girl because you still have that childlike sense of wonder and play in you now. I can feel it all the way here in New York. And I'm so grateful to be meeting you via the Zoom, but I know that Risa, you are going to ask her on our behalf something.
Yes. Would you do us the fantastic honor of playing whatever you're feeling like playing today? Play us out. We will sway, dance, just are so in love with whatever you choose to play us out today.
I'm gonna play you 2 verses of this. It's called It's a Good Day. I think it's very good for whatever we're feeling at any moment. So
Awesome.
Amen.
it's a good day for laughing. It's a good day to cry. Pulling up the covers if you wanna hide. It's a good day for waking up and opening your eyes. It's a good day for whatever makes you feel alive. Put on a record if you wanna dance. Feel what you're feeling while you got the chance. Lay your burdens and a blanket down and look up at the sky. It's a good day for whatever makes you feel alive.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Lucie Silvas, your voice, as we say in New York, is like butter.
It is.
You are such a beautiful soul, a beautiful talent. Risa, once again, thank you so much for introducing me and all of our incredible Talent Talk audience to the once in a generation Renaissance woman, Lucie Silvas.
Guys, it's so
What a beautiful soul you are. God bless you, really.
I'm crying. It's fine.
Me too, I'm holding it back. You're not doing good, Risa.
Okay. Let's have coffee soon.
I know.
Yes, let's do that. I want to see you in Nashville and I want to see you in New York. And hopefully I'll come back, and I think I might be there in November. So I would love to see you out there.
Oh,
And Risa, let's go get a coffee. Like, we're right there, and I can't believe we haven't done it yet. So let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's do it.
can you just like zoom me in virtually so I
Yes,
can...
we'll call you. We'll just be like,
That'd be lovely. Thank you
yes.
so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.